Anton's making a protein shake. He will combine two different shake powders, powder 1, powder 2. 1 scoop of powder 1 contains 4 grams of carbs, 10 grams of protein, 210 calories. Powder 2 contains 8 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein, 70 calories. If Anton wants his shake to have at most 2,100 calories and at most 80 grams of carbs, how many scoops of each powder should he use to make his shake with as much protein as possible? That reads to me like we're trying to max protein, maximum number of grams of protein, max protein. Okay, we have 2 powders. So 10 grams of protein for the first one. 2 grams for the second one. So just looking at that, it seems like, I mean, depending on the calories and all that, seems like we would lean towards the first one more since it's 5 times the amount of protein. I'm just looking at that. I'm leaning towards, but maybe it has more calories, or maybe it has more sugar. Sometimes that could be a different problem if you have one that's just loaded with sugar and you don't want all that sugar. Anyway, so I'm leaning towards powder 1, but we'll see. All right, we have carbs and calories that we have to deal with. So let's come up with an inequality for that and see what happens. 210 calories for the first one and 70 calories for the second one. And we want at most 2,100. Then we have carbs. First one has 4 grams of carbs. The second one has 8 grams of carbs. And we want at most 80. The only thing that powder 1 has going against it is it does have a lot more calories. It has fewer carbs, but it does have more calories. So it has 5 times the amount of protein. It has half of the carbohydrates, but it has 3 times the amount of calories. So that's the only thing really going against powder 1. Otherwise, if a friend of mine was asking me this, I'd say I'd probably just stick with powder 1. Except it has 3 times the amount of calories, so that's the only thing I see that it has against it. So in that case, it could be a mixture of both. It could be. Let's see. All right, so again, I don't think you can have a negative amount of scoops. I could theoretically in my problem, but not in real life. I can't have if you have negative 2 scoops of powder 2, it would be perfect. Okay, so I think it has to at least be positive. So we're in the first quadrant. We only need the graph to find the corner points. That's the only purpose of the graph, is to find the corner points. Other than that, we just need to plug in points in that objective function and see which one's correct. That being said, we're going to have to grab it. So let's find those. That looks like x equals 10 and y equals 3. Yeah. That looks good. And then x equals 20. And y equals 10. I think are my x and y coordinates, or intercepts. Looks good. Anything else to graph? We're in the first quadrant, that's fine. So I have 10 and 20. I have 10 and 30. Something. Okay, 10 and 30. 10 and 20. Then where are we located? 0, 0, 0, 0. It seems like we're down here. So I plug in 0, 0 for both of them. That's true. That's true. So it seems like we need to go down. It does seem bounded to me. Seems like the corner point would have to lie one of these spots. I think. Okay. I know 3 of the 4. It looks like 0, 0. It looks like 0, 10. It looks like 10, 0. And wherever those intersect. Once again, I don't know where that is. I can find it, but I don't know where it is. So where is that located? That would be located in the intersection of this. Excuse me. I think all of those are divisible by 70. That would make our life a little bit easier. All of these are divisible by 4. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If I multiplied the bottom one by -3, I would have equal and opposite x's. Or I could multiply the top by -2, and I would have equal and opposite y's. Either way. See if I agree with myself. I multiplied the second by -3. That's right. So that's going to give me 0 x's, -5y, -30, y equals 6. What does x equal if y equals 6? X equals 20 minus 2 times 6. 12, 8. Looks like x equals 8. So 8, 6. I need to test those. Okay. Well, I can test 0, 0 pretty quickly. 0, 10 would be 20. That would be 100. That'd be 92. They wanted the maximum. I claim we also found the minimum. So I think the maximum lied right here. So take all 10 scoops of powder 1. I didn't know. It could have had a little bit of powder 2 in there because of the calories, but that seemed to be the way to go.